Welcome. I'm Paul Simmons, and this is my first podcast live. I have a special guest. His name is Greg. Funny thing is, craziness just happened. My system doesn't want to work. I've been doing this literally since the crack of dawn, and it worked perfectly up until literally 5 minutes ago. So guess what? That's just kind of how it goes. The show must go on. Greg will be joining us shortly. He is just wrapping up a phone call. I think he's here now. Yeah, man, this is pretty interesting. We're doing it live. Like, this is kind of how it goes down. Let's see if we can get my man Greg to come on. Can you hear me, Greg? Because I sure can't hear you. The awkward pause, the awkward silence. Technology. Here he is. Here he is. Here he is. So let's just see if this works. I don't know. Literally, it was working 5 minutes ago, and now it's not. Greg, there you are. Can you hear me?
Yeah, what's happening, man?
Ah, thank you, thank you. Let me get you on. Let's see if we can do this. I'm gonna try to. There you are. Here I am. This is not the
Can't
way I
see.
intended it, but guess what, man? Like this is kind of how life works, right?
Of
Throws
course,
you
man. You got to
little
roll with it.
curveballs, and how do you deal with it? I had this really cool presentation set up. Let's see. Nope, that's not it. Nope. See, that's not gonna work. This is
That
what
looks
we're
good
doing.
too, man. That background was fresh.
Well, I wanted to, you know, give you the respect that you deserve. I wanted to make it at least somewhat presentable. It didn't happen that way, so whatever. I can still see you. You can see me. You can hear me.
I see the effort, man. It went in. It went. You went all in. I love it.
Right? That's kind of just what you do, right? You just
I love it.
there's no plan for failure. You know what I'm saying? It just happens, and then what do? You push
You
through,
get
right? You
back
power
up.
through, and
Yep.
that's actually why I wanted you to come on. I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule, running an empire, to hang out and chat with me.
I love it, man. Let's have some fun.
Yeah, man. So I guess let's just kick it off. Like, what do you tell the people who you are and what you do, and like what drives you, man? What?
Yeah, man. I guess at heart, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a dad, and I'm someone who uses media to help share ideas and help people live what I call a more ambitious life. The actual tangible side of that is that I run ambitious.com, where we have two sides of the business. One is Ambitious Media Group, which is an agency that helps business owners, professionals, experts to share their stories, share their ideas, programs, products, services, mostly through video, but really through media. So we've done about 25,000 videos for our clients over the last 5 years. We've done everything from TV shows that have been picked up by Amazon to documentaries to infomercials, but mostly social content, video ads, things of that nature. And then we have Ambitious Performance Group, which is a newer business where we've created a supplement and product line to help high performers, driven, ambitious people to have a little bit of the energy, the clarity to put good stuff into their body so that they have the energy, the focus, and the clarity to do the things that they want to do, right? Like, I believe that all of us have like these great things that we want to accomplish in our life. We have dreams, we have goals, we have ambitions, but we also have 1 million other things in our lives that are distracting us from, achieving our goals, right? Whether that be family stuff, whether that be the last year of this COVID stuff, whether that be, our boss asking us to do something, whether that be an emergency. And all of a sudden we're like, whoa, it's 9 o'clock at night and I haven't done anything for me. Well, that's tough, right? And at that point of the day, your energy is probably depleted. You're probably tired. You're overworked. You're exhausted. So we wanted to create a product line that would really help people to, when they have the ability and the time, and they make the time to work on the things that are important to them. How do they fuel themselves so they can perform at their peak and not scroll Facebook for 6 hours? So yeah, man, that's what we're up to in a nutshell.
How in the hell did you get into that? Like, what? What drove
Which
you to get into what you're doing?
Man, so Cliff Notes version, and so this is a roundabout way of the last 25 years of my life, is in high school, my senior year, I joined this program that allowed me to get out of school at noon every day. I really just wanted to get out of school at noon every day, right? Like that's like, who doesn't want to? And I ended up, this is the early era of hip hop moguls. So we're talking like 99, 2000, 2001. So we're talking early Bad Boy. We're talking No Limit Records. We're talking early Cash Money. We're talking, end of Death Row. And, these days, like today, as we're recording this, entrepreneurs are kind of cool, right? Like it's cool to be an entrepreneur. 99, 2000, 2001, like you wanted to be Diddy, right? Like dude had the record label, he had the vodka, he had Sean John, Master P was doing all these things. And like they were entrepreneurs. We just didn't call them that back then. We called them like hustlers, right?
Right, right.
And I loved what they were doing. And so my senior year of high school, I decided to start a record label. And just like Master P, I was like, yo, I'll sign myself and then I'll just sign all my buddies, right? Like I loved Master P's business model. He was like, I'll just sign myself, then I'll get my brothers, and they started True, and then he's got, you know, Mystical down the street, and he's got Mia X, and he's got, you know, and I'm just like, man, this is the way to go. And so
So I gotta cut you off real quick, just so people understand. There's a lot of South music influence you were just throwing out there. Let them know where you're from. I guess that kind of helps, right?
yeah, man. At the time, I was in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, so you know, just north of Miami, and so you know, Power 96, 99 Jams, like it was all, you know, that early down south, you know, come up music, man. Like a big Cash Money No Limit guy for a really really long time. You know, I've had a you know, getting into the story. So I spent 10 years in the music industry. You know, I had a recording studio in my dorm room at UCF, and I recorded everybody from Trick Daddy to Bone Thugs to JT Money to you name it. And they rolled through, and that's how I paid for college. And then went on the road, did touring, did all kinds of fun stuff. Ultimately, you know, the music world, you know, it wasn't in the cards for me long term, but I learned a lot about entrepreneurship. I learned a lot about, you know, selling products that really nobody wants. You know, like, you know, nobody wants your music, right? Especially like when you're a struggling broke rapper, right? Like you're the dude like on the middle of the street, like, yo, you want my CD? You want my CD? You want my CD? And
No.
like, no, like I don't want it, right? Like I
Right.
don't want that at all. And you know, you try to go to like a bar or a venue, you're like, yo, can I play on Friday night? And they're like, no, right? And so you had to learn, like, how do you get people's attention, you know? And so like one of my favorite stories I tell all the time is like with the bars, like nobody wanted like the white rapper dude to come in and play their bar on a Friday night. Like the last thing that they wanted, they're like, yo, like this is gonna ruin the vibe, like, you know. So we had to understand what it is that the bars and the clubs actually wanted. Like, what do they want? They want to sell a bunch of alcohol. And so we started creating songs that you needed, like, you know, back in the day, I don't even know if they're still cool anymore, but like Jaeger bombs, right? It was Jaeger and Red Bull. That was like the most expensive drink. They're like 12 bucks a piece, you know, in some of the nicer clubs. So we made songs about drinking Jaeger bombs that, you know, and then we were like, we'll bring 100 people in and we'll make all 100 people buy $12 drinks. And all of a sudden they're like, all right, well, even if his music sucks, he'll at least bring in like a couple grand in bar sales. And so we started, you know, thinking about what does the prospect want, you know, and in selling stuff now, it's all about what does the marketplace want. A lot of times we create things that we want to create because we want to, and there's a time and a place for that, like art and you know, being true to yourself. But if the marketplace doesn't want it, there's no commercial viability whatsoever. You're going to be broke. You're going to be that starving artist. I would rather create stuff that's true to me, that I believe in, that other people will appreciate as well, so that, you know, I got 3 kids, I got a nice house, like I got bills to pay, my friend. And so, you know, just thinking about that. But that's the origin of how we got in this, is the music business, like hustling, trying to get music played on the radio, trying to get into the bars and the clubs, trying to sell, you know, 20 CDs at $5 a piece, so I got $100 to buy gas to get to the next town. Like that was the life. And I ran into a business partner who said, hey, all that stuff you're doing in the music world, what if you applied it to the business world, right? Like instead of selling a $5 CD, what if you sold a $5,000 marketing service or consulting service? And that's when the light bulb went off. That was about, you know, 12 or so years ago, and been on a path ever since. So that's where the music then translated into media. I mean, dude, how I think about it now is I help boring business owners create music videos for their business, right? Like that's really what I do. And I'm using video to grab attention so you can talk about your programs, products, and services. It's no different. Just a different audience, an audience that's got money, which is nice too. So
And not to mention you're doing something good, right? Like that's why I wanted to
yeah,
do this, to be honest with you, because business owners, like literally, I say this all the time, but if you look around, everything that you have within eyesight is related to a business, right? From the sheets on your bed to whoever packaged the plant, whoever made the basket, somebody
yeah.
made it was related to a business. Now some businesses don't last forever, you know, because of whatever reason. You can anyway, that's a whole tangent. Point is, business owners make the world go round. People that have ideas and solutions to problems share their idea, and people, you make their life better, right?
Yeah.
So you're making someone's life better. So if what we do, because I, that, and it's funny, I guess I have to state this too. We've never met each other. This is
Right.
our first time ever talking, right? I
Yep.
reached out to you because you said be ambitious. I'm listening to your Zoom. I'm a customer of yours, right?
Yep.
So I tuned in, and you were going through a list of being ambitious, right? Like do something, and that's what my business is. Proactive. Be proactive. And what I mean by proactive, professionally active people are constantly pushing the boundaries, right?
Yep.
You're pushing the envelope. You're trying to do more. And that kind of led me to my word, man. My word is more. Like I always want to do more. I want more. Yours is ambitious, and they're kind of the same, right? Like
They
I
are.
I feel
Yeah.
like I can help more people by showing them this tool that they can use in ways that they probably never even thought of before, right? Making their life easier. And so, sorry, I stepped on your toes a little bit, but
No, man. Go,
that's
go.
that's kind of that's why I do it. Why do you do it?
Very similar, man. Like I have this guiding principle that is really important to me, and it's stop waiting for permission. I think that so many people are waiting for permission to move forward with their lives, to do the thing that they have a deep innate desire to do, that there's this perfect moment in the future when that's when they should move forward. And the reality is, we're not promised tomorrow, right? And B, the best time to do it is right here, right now, today. Life is messy. Like, when's the best time to have a kid? Like your life is never going to be perfect enough to have kids, right? And I got three of them. And like, if we waited for it to be perfect, I wouldn't have any of them. When's the best time to start a business? Like when the iron is hot, when that drive and that desire is there. I joke about it, but like, if you want to write a book, there's no book fairy that's going to come around with like, and knight you and say like, hey man, you've been in business for 7 years now. You now have you can write the book. In the music industry, nobody was like knocking on my door saying, Greg, we want to give you a record deal. So you know what? I did it my damn self, right? Like I figured out how to record. I figured out how to edit. I figured out Pro Tools. I figured out how to press the CDs. I figured out how to do the artwork. I found the thing. Like, if you have this desire to do something, and like, stop waiting for somebody. When we did our TV show, same thing, right? Like, no TV producer is like knocking down my door and be like, you are the most handsome, good-looking dude with a great personality. We got to put you on TV. Like, literally, no one's ever said that to me ever in my entire life, right? So I was like, I want to do a TV show. So you know what I did? I took my own money, found my own crew, wrote the script. We went out to St. Pete. We filmed the pilot episode, and it sucked. But you know what? We did it. And then we were able to iterate. Then we went on Kickstarter, and we said, we need some money to make a show. We got proof of concept, and we got the audience, the market, the crowd to support us and say, you know what, we want to see this show. And we raised, 50 something $1,000 in 20 days, and, got a show, sold it to entrepreneur.com, sold it to Amazon Video, Amazon Prime. And like, not because anybody wanted our show, but because we went out and we didn't wait for permission. We went out and created what we wanted to create, and then everybody got on board later. I think that so many people, just like you were talking about, they want more, but their actions don't map to their ambitions, right? Like that's so big, right? I want to lose weight. I want to eat better, and you're eating a freaking McDonald's cheeseburger, right? Like, your actions don't match your ambitions. It's clear as day. And so if you're watching this right now, you're watching the replay, you're watching live, wherever you're watching, look at, we're recording this live on a Wednesday. You've had 3 days this week, 3 days into March, March 1, March 2, March 3. Did what you actually did during your awake hours, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, first 3 days of this month. If your goal was to do X amount in sales, if you're a sales, a sales rep or something, did your actions lead you to getting to that outcome? If not, dude, it's time to change. You got to do something different. You got to look at, what do I need to do with the hours that I've been given that will help me get to the outcome that it is that I want? And that's how I look at my life. It's like, I condense and compress time because I want to spend time with my kids. I'm a little league coach. I'm out there with them. I want to spend time with my wife. I've only got 6 to 8 hours of good working hours every day. I'm going to make every single minute count towards my vision, towards my ambition, towards the things that light me up but also make a difference and an impact in others. Like the reason why I said yes to this is because it's furthering my mission. It's really simple, right? Whether you got, 3 people watching or 3 million people watching, I can make a difference. I can help somebody. It's moving towards the ambitions that I have for myself. And so all you got to do is just look in the mirror. Really hard to do, right? Because it's a gut check. But once you do it, man, like everything opens and things move much faster because you start making decisions in black and white. Is what I'm about to do right now, is me listening to this podcast, is me watching this video, is me eating this meal right now, taking me further away from what it is that I want for my future? Or is it moving me closer to what I want for myself and for my future? And that's really how I look at things.
Isn't it funny how many times have you heard that speech or that from somebody that you are
Totally.
an admirer of, right? How many times have you heard them say exactly what you just said? Get your ass up and do it, right? And like you said, the fairy that you're waiting for, or that you hope will come and just grant you the instant knowledge of whatever it is that you think you want to do, you're not going to get it, right? The only way to get that knowledge is to actually do it, right?
Yep.
Like a child, they're not going to learn 1 through 10 overnight. They have to learn, they have to practice. Get 1 down, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4. Before you know it, you're up to 20. And the more you do it, the repetition, and being a kid, you'll try it over, you'll get frustrated. My son throws a fit, you know what I mean? He'll get frustrated and he'll be like, to hell with that. But now he's at the stage where he's like, I want to do it myself. I want to do it myself. And there's
Yep.
times I have to tell him, like, look, well, he won't maybe comprehend this, but I want him to do those things. I want him to be independent,
Yeah.
but I want him to learn how to do it first. I want to give you the opportunity to do it, but you got to show me that you can do it, right?
Spot on,
Got
man.
I kind of get left and right, and that's kind of what I wanted to talk to you about as well. Like, I want to just be organic. Like, I don't want there to be a plan. There was no script for this. Like, I just wanted to talk to you. I wanted to meet you. I wanted to learn from you, and through whatever correspondence happens here, we may be able to share or enlighten somebody else, right? What's what's one thing, like I told you, my word is more, right? What's one thing that you want more of other than money, right? Like, what's that one thing that you want
Yeah.
more?
Um. So real impact. So let me unpack that for a second because, like I said, for the last 10 to 12 years, I've been running an agency, and we do really freaking good work. Really proud of my work. But I started looking back, like at the end of the day, I'm just making videos for business dudes, right? And that was cool. When we started the new performance line and started getting it into people's hands, and I'm getting literally every day, I get a text message, or we just started getting some reviews on Amazon. Like, I was drinking 7 coffees a day, and now I have quit coffee altogether, and your products give me more energy than those 7 coffees all put together, and it's all natural, and there's no sugar, and I wake up and I don't have bags on. I'm like, that's a real impact. Like, now you're changing somebody's life, you're changing their habits, you're changing the things that they do. People saying that they're more focused and they're finally working on the projects that matter to them instead of endlessly scrolling. It's like, I want more of that. I want more of that real impact where I'm helping a father to get more done in the 8 hours that he's in front of the computer, so that he feels like he can happily leave the computer and go play with his kids and have the same amount of energy, the same amount of presence, the same amount of impact go playing with his kids as he did at the office. I want that kind of impact. And this shift has been it's been difficult, but B, it's been so rewarding because you're seeing lives that are changing for the better, and it's so freaking cool. And so the more is, how do we go from hundreds of those interactions every month to thousands of those interactions every month to tens of thousands of those interactions every month? And so that's my more, is multiplying that effect, multiplying those stories, because it just makes you feel really freaking good. And as an entrepreneur, like, our job is to make things, and and just to know that you've made something that made someone's day, that made their day better, that made their life better, so freaking cool. And so that's definitely my more right now is meaningful impact, not just, yeah, I have a cool product and I make money, but it's really, really at the core helping people. And that's one of the coolest feelings in the world.
Man, I there's so much I want to ask you. A, how did you come about this energy drink? Like, what makes it so unique? And then I almost want to go backwards again to, well, we'll just stay there. What's how did you come about this?
Yeah, man. So if you remember, it's probably close to, I don't even know the year, but probably a decade ago, there was a Bradley Cooper movie called Limitless. And,
Yes.
he's like this broke, kind of homeless artist type dude. Everything's going wrong in his life, completely going in the wrong direction. And I don't even remember how, but he stumbles across these like magic pills called NZT, and he pops one, and like within like 24 hours, he's the world's greatest stock trader of all time, right? And the
Mm-hmm.
money's flowing, and he's got the suit on, he's got the fresh haircut, and he's the Bradley Cooper we know and love, right? And ever since, I think people have been on this quest, not just me, but are there things out there that can optimize our brain, right? I mean, we've all, I don't know this stat off the top of my head, but like we only use 5% of our brain or 20%, like whatever it is, a really small part. What if we use a higher percentage? And so I've really kind of been a geek into trying all of these things since ever since that movie. There was some stuff in Tim Ferriss's book, The 4 Hour Body, where he went into things like this, and then started learning about a class of supplements called nootropics. And I have dabbled, personally experimented with, you know, probably close to 100 different combinations, substances. Like my wife always used to joke, she's like, oh, there's another weird brown bag from India that just showed up on the doorstep. And there's been some shady stuff, but like just in this quest to how can I have my mind and my brain and my body work for me instead of against me? And I think so many people are having they're fighting their brain and their body. They're fighting their biology. And when we live in this world right now where you see all these people on social media and they're like hustle, 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 grind, grind, grind. Like if you're not working, the competition's eating you for lunch. And like it's total garbage. It's not about hustle and grinding. It's about doing the most with the time that you have. And when biology meets hustle and grinding, at some point biology is going to win. At some point you're going to have a breakdown. At some point you're going to have an anxiety attack. At some point you're going to hit burnout. At some point, well, what if we never got to that point? What if we could sustain our performance over the long term? And that's what I've been chasing, over the last 10 years. And I use Evernote for notes, been using it for seemingly forever. And I have documentation of like literally every combination of ingredients I've been using over these 10 years. And I had an opportunity last year when COVID came in and really, really was a huge, huge gut punch to our business. We lost hundreds of thousands of dollars in revenue within 30 days, refunds, like had to let go of 90% of our staff. Like it was ugly. And I kind of had this opportunity to say, you know what, if I can start over. What would I do if I started over? And it's another one of those waiting for permission things. Like I didn't wait until I had a PhD in, chemistry or, any of these things. I was like, let me go find the best people in the world and let's make this. And, we took all the ingredients that I've been messing with, all of the stipulations that I had. I wanted something all natural. I wanted no sugar. I didn't want any. And we found a manufacturer, an amazing, amazing company, a partner. And we went through iteration after iteration. Ours is a beverage, it's a drink, so it's like a powder, like equivalent to like a protein. Put it
Mm-hmm.
in, shake it with
Mm-hmm.
water, kind of thing. And so you're tasting it, and you get the first one back, and you're like, ooh, that tastes terrible. Like we need to fix this. And just it's been such a really fun learning process going through that and going through the testing and making sure that, is this something that I would drink? Is this something I would give to my wife? Like my wife loves the new flavor we just put out. And like that, again, just makes me feel like we're on the right track. But it wasn't waiting for permission. The
Mm-hmm.
other side that I think is really helpful to everybody watching this is that there's a great book right now by Dan Sullivan, just came out, and it's called Who, Not How. And it's Ben Hardy and Dan Sullivan. And what I love about this book is that most people, when they're starting out, they look for the how. how do I run Facebook ads? How do I put up a landing page? How do I, and they feel like they have to learn the how to in order to move forward. That's how I was forever. I was a lone wolf. I got to do it all myself. I got to put the pressure on me. I don't have the money. I don't have the resources. Everything changes when you look for the who. So what I did is I looked at some friends who had supplement companies. I was like, hey, how'd you do this? What did you do? I started asking questions. Who's your manufacturer? I started Googling. I was looking for the who, not necessarily the how. Like, I don't know how to formulate this stuff. I don't have a clue. I don't know how the FDA works. And I found an attorney who I found all of the who's, and they made this happen a whole lot faster. It's like going back to the music industry. If you don't know how to make beats, you need a who, you need a producer, right? You don't know how to, mix it all together. You need a who, you need an engineer. You need the who's to make you stronger as an entrepreneur. And it's a lone wolf syndrome that really holds a lot of us back from ever achieving the greatness that we have, because we can't do it all ourselves. I wish we could, because it'd be hella easier, especially for an introvert. But without a great group of people around you, and these don't have to be, financially invested business partners. These don't have to be, in-house employees. I don't have any employees, but I have hundreds of contractors and people that I pay for a project basis. And I bring on the best of the best when I need them, so that my business grows further faster. So that's, that was me rambling about the journey of the
No,
last
man, are
year
you kidding me?
putting this together.
It's so funny. I wanted to chime in so many times, but I'm like, sit back, sit back. It's when you brought up the book, that's crazy. I was gonna ask you, what book are you reading, and you clearly just shared one. Um, it's, I don't know, man. I feel just really excited when I talk to people like you. And these are the people that I want to do business with, right? I want to do business with people that are passionate about what the hell they do, or excited. And, I kind of, through kind of this journey, you learn a lot of things, right? You learn that there are some people that don't make a good fit. Like, you can't work with them as much as you would like to. Sometimes it just doesn't fit, right? And when you try to fit a round peg through a square hole, it doesn't work out, right? And then you're all miserable. So where I'm getting at is having the ambition to continue to do what you do, and do it well, and associate yourself with the right people, the people that are better than you, right? You always want to bring people on that are better than you, so that it just makes it work better, right? It makes everything work better. Long story short, I know we're kind of running out of time, man. I wanted to keep this thing to a half hour, and I know that these conversations can go long. Um, just, man, I wanted to talk to you about your Emmy. That was kind of a big thing, how that came
Yeah, man,
about.
fire away, man. I got some time. I got about 10 minutes till. So if you want to keep going, man, let's roll.
Well, let's roll then. So tell me about the Emmy, man. Like,
Um,
how did that happen?
Goes back to people. I'm the luckiest guy on the planet, right? So I mentioned a business partner that I ran into, when I was leaving the music industry, who was like, "Hey, why don't you do this same stuff for business people?" Well, his name's Nick Nanton, and he's absolutely incredible, and he's really same wavelength of me. Is he's like, "I want to do this awesome thing. I don't know how to do it. I'm not going to wait. Let's just go do it." And he started, making documentaries as an accident. He met a dad at an airport. They were like a layover or whatever it is, and started talking to this guy. And the guy had a son who had Down syndrome, and he said that they were having this charity thing. Long story short, Nick gets the story, and he's like, "I want to film a movie about your son." He was playing his first little league game with Down syndrome, and there was a big deal. It's in Floyd's Knobs, Indiana, and Nick had never made a movie before,
Mm-hmm.
but he just knew deep down, he's like, "I want to make a movie." And so he went to his clients and he said, "Hey, I want to make this movie. I don't know what I'm doing. Do you guys want to invest and help me make this movie?" And he got 20 clients to all pony in a couple grand, and 2-3 weeks later, he's in Floyd's Knobs, Indiana. He's making a short film. The film, really good short film, 7 to 10 minutes, something like that. He submits it to the Suncoast Emmys, and he wins a freaking Emmy, right? Holy smokes. And then over the last 6-7 years, I've been fortunate to be on a lot of amazing film projects with him. One of them, we went down to the Dominican Republic and found this amazing organization called Esperanza, started by Dave Volley, who's a former player for the Seattle Mariners. And now he's the color commentator for the Mariners and MLB Network. And I started this nonprofit called Esperanza, which does microloans for women-owned businesses in both the Dominican Republic and Haiti. And we went down there and we filmed this amazing documentary called Return to Esperanza, all about how these microloans had been given, and these women were making these incredible businesses, and now their daughters had the financial means to go to college. They were coming back and starting businesses, and now they were having kids, and this generational ending of poverty for these families. Incredible story. And I was fortunate enough to be there and hold the camera and talk to some of the ladies there in the organization, and blessed to have just won an Emmy. And again, it's surrounding yourself with the right people and the right environments, and getting lucky sometimes. That's but luck is when preparation meets opportunity, right?
Exactly.
It's when you put yourself in those environments, when you say yes to things that you probably shouldn't say yes to, but it's going to put you in the room with somebody, or it's going to give you a break, or just it's still. I joked earlier about like Bone Thugs, like being in my dorm room. Like I said yes to like this barber whose friend's sister, cousin. I'm like, sure, bring him over. And all of a sudden Bone Thugs walks in, and I'm like, like it's saying yes to the right opportunities, and being darn good at your craft when you get that shot. So yeah, man, super blessed. And I've also lost about 9 other Emmy nominations that I've had, so I'm like 1 for 10. But all it takes is one to say you're a winner.
You've been nominated. That says something, right?
Yeah, for real.
Right? You don't. There's only one Super Bowl champion, but that doesn't mean the other players aren't great.
And it doesn't mean that the season's lost either, right? And I think that's like, just because you didn't hit the pinnacle, right, doesn't mean you didn't have a successful season. Doesn't mean you didn't make an impact. But we always shoot for the stars, right? I tell, like, there's this thing in entrepreneur land where it's like fail fast, fail fast, fail fast. I don't have a problem with failure. I have a problem when your goal is failure so that you can fail fast. The goal should always be to win. When I create a marketing campaign, I'm creating a campaign to win, to make more money than I'm spending. And if I don't, yeah, I failed. Let's learn from that. Let's iterate. Let's make a better version. If the video doesn't hit, let's make it. But I never set out to be like, all right, well, let's just put out a crappy something so that we can fail. And it's the failure mindset, I think, that's a problem. You should have the goal to win the Super Bowl. But if you don't win the Super Bowl, was your season of failure? No, we're going to learn from that. But the goal should be to win every single time you step on the court. It's having that mindset. Great book called Relentless. That I'm reading right now by Tim Grover, who was Michael Jordan's mindset coach, Dwayne Wade, Kobe Bryant, a lot of these basketball players. And it's every single one of those guys, every time they stepped on the court, their mentality was, I'm coming for you, right? Like, I'm winning. Now, did Michael win every game he played? Of course not. But that mentality of I'm going to win, Kobe, that Mamba mentality, I'm coming for you. Like, I'm going all in. Having that mindset, I think, is super important for entrepreneurs, that you need to believe and have conviction in what it is that you're selling or building so much that, we're not going to win every game, but darn sure I'm competing to win every time that I step on the court.
Well, I had every intention of this being a kick-ass podcast for my first one. I made all these cool little elements and thought, I was like, oh man, this will be nice to have this. And guess what? It still ended up being a kick-ass interview, man. I appreciate your energy. I appreciate your willingness, like I said, to jump on with me. This is my first go at it, and for all intents and purposes, it was very successful. Thank you so much, man, for doing that. I appreciate it. I know you didn't have to, so
thank you for taking that step, taking that initiative. Like, this is a darn good first episode, whether it's me or not. Hey, you showed up. You brought it. You had good questions. You're like, dude, you're gonna kill it, man. It's showing up and bringing the energy, and you did that. So thank you so much for, giving me the honor of being number one. The only bad side to being number one is that you're gonna be awesome after episode 20, and then, so we'll have to do a part 2.
Well, guess I was just gonna say, man, you're always more than welcome to come back. There's definitely an open invitation for you, man. But like I said, I know you got to get out of here. I got to get out of here. I haven't eaten lunch. But this was fun, man. I really enjoyed myself, and I appreciate you again. Yeah, with that said, man, I guess I will bid you adieu. I don't even know how this thing is going to finish. everything I tried to set up before, was gonna exit out nicely. I was gonna have a little music, but hey, it is what it is, brother. But
All right, man.
yeah.
Thank you so much.
Until next time, I'll talk to you soon. Oh, I did have one other thing. If you watch this live, well, I guess it's done now. I wanted you to type hashtag live. But since this is the replay by the end of this, type hashtag replay. Thank you guys again for joining me for this power hour with my phenomenal friend Greg. Thank you, brother. I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, buddy.
Peace.